Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and here we have day 9 of the Amazon Advent Return Challenge. If you haven't watched the previous 8 days, please do so. Also, if you haven't seen my 2024 Advent Challenge, you can check out that as well. But now you're here for the 2025 challenge, so let's get started on day 9 and see if we can fix some things.
Broken shredder.
Here we have a bonsai cross-cut paper shredder, so it cuts it this way and also cross as well. Current item on Amazon at the moment for around about £35-ish, including postage. It seems to be live, like if I was to go forward or reverse or even auto, it makes the right noises, but it doesn't drag the paper in. So watch this now. On auto, it will recognise that the paper's here, so the little switch is working, but it's not pulling it in. And if I go to forward or reverse, you can hear it's changing, but it's still not putting the paper in. There we go. So we need to take this apart to find out why that is. It's definitely not brand new, but it doesn't look like it's had much use. I can see dust in here, but it doesn't look like it's had years of use. So I say it's failed quite quickly. Maybe the rollers or whatever pulls the paper in is not operating. Unfortunately, there might be a broken gear which goes onto that bit, so it might not be fixable. But we'll take it apart and see if we can work out what's happening. Now this is nice. Look at this. If you plug it in and turn it on without the box, it doesn't work, and that's because there is this little safety switch just here. I noticed there was a cutout on the box. Can you see there? There's a little safety switch. So it has to recognise the box. That has to go in before it will work, which is nice. So let's undo the 4 screws. Here, here, here and here. And let's see what we can see on the inside. I'm going to use my special screwdriver, long and thin. Right, those 4 are undone. Let's see if the top comes off. Yes, it does. Okay, quite a bit of dust. Now, why are you not pulling in? How does it even pull in? So this is working because it kicks off when we do this. Do you know what I think we have to do? I think we're going to have to short these wires to, or actually do this. I won't do that with my hand, but no, it's not going to, it's going to be isolated, but still, I'll do that with some plastic. I'm wondering whether the gearbox here is gone, and the noise we're hearing might be the first few gears, but maybe these are not turning. I didn't look in here to see if these are turning. So you can see, whoa, 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 I didn't mean to do that. All of these here, that's a bit annoying. I hope I haven't broken anything there. What just came out? No, just bits of paper. Yeah, we need to see if they're turning, because it might well be a gear problem. Obviously, don't copy what you see in my videos, but I'm keeping my hands well clear of absolutely everything. We are going to put it all the way to here, so it should start operating as soon as I put this switch up, and I'm going to be using this plastic here to put this switch up. So let's plug it in now. I'm going to say that this is not fixable. I think one of the gears has gone. So we're plugged in. Let's see now, are you going to work? It is working. Why on earth is that not bringing the paper in? Okay, I'm going to unplug it. I am confused, which is not the first time. Unplugged. I mean, there is a big wad of paper here, in here, that looks quite compacted. Would that have... do you know what it was? Do you think this was wedged in here, underneath here, like like so, but more compacted down. Was this turning on? In other words, listen to the click here, but it wasn't going down further. So the paper couldn't go. I know that's what the problem is. So listen, when it clicks, it's going to work, but the paper couldn't go down further because this was wedged underneath it. I know 100% now that that is the problem. Yeah. What a bit of a design for. Isn't it weird how so much paper got wedged in there? So now can you see it goes down further, I think, to allow the paper down, while before it just went to the click, to there. And you can see the paper wouldn't get past that, but it would there. I think that's what it is. Right, let's... I'll put the cover back on. I'll just do up a couple of screws because I wouldn't mind giving this a clean up. Again, kind of pointless because it's going to get all dusted up as soon as you use it the once. That will do. I don't need to put any screws in. Let's get the base in. I bet it's going to work now. So you can see this bit is cut out slightly differently here. So you can only put this on the one way because of this. Right, we are in. Bet you now it is going to work. So let's go to off and let's go to auto. There we go. So it does that to begin with. Now let's see if it's going to work. No. What? It's not that. It is not that. Right, okay, let's unplug. Do you know what? When I've seen them going round, I think I only seen one lot going round. Maybe they both... maybe they both need to go round, don't they, to pull it in. Right now, one lot's stationary, the other lot's turning. Oh, I think it's going to be a gearbox problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in on this. I'm sure I've seen it where only one lot was turning. So we're going to put it to here. We're going to plug it in. We're going to zoom right the way in. And if you have a look here, there's two lots. There's two lots, only one lot was turning. That's what it is, and that's why it's not pulling it down. Right, so if I do this now. Can you see that? So these ones here are not turning. Yeah? But these ones are. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think this is fixable. I think it's going to be a gear problem. But let's see why it failed. Let's see what's what's failed on it. Unplugged again. So I'm going to put some gloves on. This is going to be a little bit messy. I'm going to have to get in this gearbox and find out why. You can see there's one lot here. The other lot's not turning. I don't know which one's what. There we go. Can I take out this? Yes, I can. Right. Okay, let's work on this here. So I'm going to undo the screws around the edge. I'm just going to clean off the grease. Right, so it's just these ones that I need to undo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So clearly this is turning, these gears are turning, there's something here which has failed. I'm going to put down a kitchen roll because this is going to be a bit messy, I think. Right, now let's take it off. Oh, metal. Metal gears. Well, that's a surprise, that's nice. Why then are you not turning? So, this one's definitely working on here. So this one's nylon, but that middle one is metal there. Maybe that's a fail-safe, so worst case scenario, this will chew up. Then we have this one here. So if I was to turn this, so let me turn it from here. So that's turning there, and this is going to be turning super slow, but with lots of torque. So they're all turning, so they're all okay. You see this one is going, but really slow. Now let's have a look here and find out which one's not working. So I can see already that this one here is turning. Right, so all of these ones here are turning, so it's this side which is not. I know it's super slow, but if you were to just keep your eye on this one and don't look at anything else, this one here, you're going to see that in a minute it's going to get to that black bit there. You see, we're there already. Right, now look at this side. This is already on the black bit here, and that's not moving. Right, I'm going to go the other way just in case. No, so this one here is not moving. Why? We are going to have to take this gear off. So let's take off all the gears. It's nice. This one. So this is on a circlip, so we're going to have to undo that circlip. Now I haven't got a circlip remover here. It's at my dad's. Let's see if it's going to be big enough for my long nose pliers to go in there. Wow, it is. I've got a ready-made one here. So I'm going to lift this out. Really need two people to do this. Let me try to do it like that. Please don't spring away. There we go. That was nice. That was actually relatively controlled for me. So now this will come off. We can see what's happening underneath it. Will it come off? Right, what's locking you into place? I can't actually see. I have to clean this up. I cannot see what's holding that in.
5 minutes later.
Well, I'm actually slightly embarrassed why I can't work out why this can't come off. As far as I can see, there's nothing holding that in place. It doesn't look to be, I mean, maybe it's getting wider than the hole. It's full of grease, so maybe this bit is wider than the hole. I wonder if I do that and try to tap the middle, would that shock it off? With my makeshift hammer. Oh, I believe it's coming, and it's come. Right, okay, now. So, there you go. You can see what's happened here. That's popped off there. Why have you popped off, and what's stopping you from popping off again? Ah, that's what's happened. It's all rounded. Look. Yeah. It's, let me zoom in. Let me just clean my hands one more time. I'm going to zoom in. I think what's happened is, from new, this wasn't really seated properly, but it was working. And with the amount of pressure, torque that it goes round, because, this motor's spinning really fast, but it just keeps getting reduced and reduced and reduced until it's going around incredibly slow. And can you see here? It's, that should be nicely square all the way to the end. And it's not. It's been chewed up. So that isn't gunk here. See that there? That's been bashed up all the way. Let me try to turn it. No, I can't turn it. No, I haven't got the strength to turn that by hand. But you can see there. So if we get the gear on, and if we try to hammer that back round to make it square, then the gear may stay on. If I had the welder here, I'd probably try to weld that back on, but I haven't. So let's put that on there. Good news is that this itself hasn't broken. Even now, that doesn't want to go on right. Oh, because look at here, we've got a kind of swarf bit sticking out the bottom here. Can you see there? Was that stopping it from going on? Or is that just grease? No, that is a bit of metal. Could it be that these weren't lined up perfectly? And because look, if that's on there, the gear, that needs to be here. But can you see the teeth are not going to line up? Or is it because, it's probably because I've been turning this maybe. Let me try to turn this. There. There we go. Right, so that still doesn't want to go on. No, because it's been bashed out there. Yeah, this is going to be awkward. I don't think it'd be ever one that I'd be able to sell on. Yeah, I think this is going to need a hammer and a cold chisel, and I think I'm going to have to try to bash the hell out of that. I prefer it if I could get it on and then I could start bashing it. Yeah, so I think the sides are going to be okay, but at either end there's an ever so slight lip which is stopping me from getting this on. So I am going to have to get my, I'm going to have to get a hammer and start tapping it. Yeah, that's the lip there. There. I wonder, could I just lever it out? Right, let me try to tap it down. Right, well that's lying flat, but it is just going to pop off again. So, what was that? I have to, don't worry, it's just my lid for the IPA. I'm going to have to try, when that's on, I'm going to have to try to bash down these bits to make it wider again, to fill up more of the gap. Right, what I've got here is this, which will probably go blunt within 1 or 2 hits, because I think it might be from the pound shop or something equivalent. And I've got this old chisel, again very cheap, but I haven't been using it as a chisel. It's been, as you can see, it's completely blunt there. So that might be enough. That might be slightly sharper, just to try to bend these bits over, because I need, essentially what I want is I want this bit to be flat, and if this becomes flat, it's then going to fill up the hole better, because then I think there's going to be less chance of it coming off. But I don't really know what held it on in the first place. I think it's just the circlip. I think it's just the pressure of this down on it, but so maybe even now it would be okay. Because I don't think there was any, you know, I don't think that was out proud, because it can't be, because, you know, this has to be able to rotate. So, but I'm worried that there's going to be a little bit too much play in it as it is. I'm going to try to do this on the mat. If not, I'll have to go outside. But it's dark, so you won't see what I'm doing. Smoke came up then. If you were blessed with a workshop with a metal vise and stuff, this obviously would be a lot easier. That was a good one. Now I'm getting it. Definitely filling it out. Look at that, now I've made a nice little ledge. So if I could knock that when it was on, I might actually get it over that ledge. See, it's easy when this is off because it sticks up more. This is, you know, I can't do it like this now. I can only do it at an angle. See, I might be nearly there because that's nearly filled up. That is, look at that, that's not wobbling now, that's tight. Can you see that? I wonder, would that do? Also, I wonder, is there any way, is this flush up right against this? I'm wondering if there's any way I can move the whole axle along a little bit, or is there just not enough room on the teeth? I suppose that, no, the tolerances would be too tight here. But look, do you see that there now? I'm wondering, is there a likelihood of that coming loose now? Because I've definitely near enough filled up the gap around here. You can see it's not bunched up like it was before. If you look at my tweezers, can you see? Beforehand it was like coming up here, wasn't it? There was it looked like it was up maybe 1 mil or a bit more, and now it's still up but not much. So you know what? That could be okay. I think a better fix, well, debatable on what's a better fix. Make it less repairable, but I think a lasting fix would be to grind a little bit back here and here to smooth metal on here and the little axle as well, and then tiny spot weld here, tiny spot weld here, and then grind it back with the angle grinder. And I can't see, that will never then come away from that. So I wouldn't sell something like this on, but if somebody wanted a printer, then as long again as they understood that that it was faulty, then it would do them perfectly, you know. Now look, I can't put the axle through anymore because otherwise it would grind against that. And the very fact of this turning here is probably going to wear that down even more, maybe, because it does seem to be catching ever so slightly. So now we should be able to see that they're both turning if I have enough strength. There, can you see that there? There. Excellent. That might work, maybe. Let's try to get the circlip back on. Hope I don't lose this now. Go on, nearly there. No, come off. Oh. You're all wanting this to ping across the room. I know it. Yes. I think I might be on. There we go, I'm on. No way. Squeeze that in there. That circlip is in place, look at that. There. Right, that's on there. This is going to go, whoa, 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 grease everywhere. That's going to go on here. So now, if I turn this, we should see that this is now turning, this little gear that I've just fixed. Right, let's have a look down here. So let's keep our eye on now what's going to be an easy one. Do you see this one here is flat with this bit of plastic? What? No, it's going, it's going. There. Phew, I thought it wasn't working. I was thinking that's impossible. Right, so you see it's come away from the plastic now. Now let's put it back lying flat with the plastic. Yeah, now it's going. Oh, this is coming loose here, that's why. There we go, it's moving. Excellent, okay. If it's going to be strong enough to shred paper, I don't know, but I think it will be. And we know what to do to make a permanent repair. I'd have to bring it to my dad's and use the welder on it. Right, let's get this back on. I'm not going to clean it up because it's not going to be a good working product anyway, you know. I wouldn't be able to sell this. Right, so what we want to see now is both lots of these turning for safety. No, I mean, this is going to be safe here. It's just going to get chewed up where the gears are. Again, don't copy what you see in my videos. There's no kids, pets, anything around here that's going to suddenly run into the room and put their hands in here. So let me get my bit of plastic and I'm going to put it to forward. Let's see now if I do this when it's plugged in, if both lots will turn. You ready? Right, I'm plugged in now, keeping my hands well away from everything, standing back. Beautiful. Look at that. Right, should we try the other way? We're going to go into reverse. Ready? Actually feels and sounds smooth. Brilliant. Right, let's bring it back into the other room and shred a couple of bits of paper. Okay, I haven't tried this out yet. So plug it in, turn it on, put it to auto. Now, I know this isn't strenuous, but I don't want to waste a load of paper. Let's see now, are you going to work? I know you are. Oh, I can see all the little bits. And this one, I'll tell you what we'll do, should we make it slightly harder by folding it in half to make it a little bit thicker. Off, 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 and if you see there, you can see it has all been cross-shredded. So, is it a fix? Well, the enjoyment for me comes from finding the fault, and always has done, more than a working product at the end. Yes, if I was a slick YouTube channel, I'm sure there'd be some YouTube channels that would somehow mill that down and then put weld around it and grind it back into a perfect thing. But you need to remember, it's an item that costs whatever it was, 35, 40 pounds. And that's not where my enjoyment comes from, and I haven't got the tools or the skill level to do that either. Also, I try to get through more items than just doing one item a month and making it perfect. That's the sort of fix that might last a day, might last a month, might last a year, might last forever, because I don't know what caused it to be misaligned and pop out in the first place. If it was like that from manufacture, then all I've done is put it back on and try to splay out that metal. But if there is play there, the metal that I've done is going to be thin and a lot weaker now than it was before. When I say the metal I've done, I mean the metal that I've whacked back into place. I think that that will actually last, but I'm sure the comment section will tell me otherwise. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, if it fails again, I can weld it and then it will be a lasting fix. But this might well be good enough as it is.
Summary?
So what is it worth? Well, I've had to put it down as 25% off retail. Retail is £35, so £8.75. It seems so little, £8.75. You know, if I go up London, I'm going to spend that on near enough a pint of beer. Well, I'd easily spend that on a pint of beer. So, and you're getting a whole shredder, which I think could last somebody a lifetime if they were to use it sensibly. But the thing is, if you were to give it to somebody else, they might be trying to shred up credit cards. They might be putting through 8 sheets of paper at a time, in which case then you're going to put more and more strain on the axle of that gear because the axle is already not correct. But I think if you were just to use it occasionally and just put through 1 or 2 sheets, I think that shredder, I think that will be a lasting fix. But put down what you think in the comments section down below. For me, it's no bother because all I would have to do is bring it to my dad's and weld it. It would take, honestly, it would take seconds to weld. It's not even hard to remove any of it. So if I had it at my dad's, I think I could get it fully working in the space of about 15 or 20 minutes. By the time I take it apart, 2 tiny little welds and then grind back those welds, and then that shredder will last, well, the gear will last forever. You're just relying on everything else then lasting. So yeah, I can do a lasting fix on it, but for today's video I've just done that, and that's what most other people will do as well. Most people have access to a screwdriver and a hammer. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's always interesting to see how things have failed. I don't quite know how this got to the situation where it had failed. Do you think from manufacture that gear was slightly loose before they put the gearbox casing on? Or do you think through use it has somehow worked its way loose? Very strange. Anyway, I'll see you again tomorrow for day 10. Look at that, we're in double figures already.